Greetings, Habari Yako, everyone. I want to send you greetings today from Malindi, Kenya. And I'm thankful for all of you who have visited with us this week. We've been traveling across various parts of Kenya this week, Nairobi, Nakuru, as well as now in Malindi, hosting a group of Black Americans who are looking at visiting and relocating to the country on a regular basis. Some are even considering retirement. So let's talk about some of the basic things and steps that you must take in order to make this transition possible. First, you must have your U.S. passport. If you don't already have a passport, you must apply for your passport. And this also applies to those in other countries. You may be coming from the Caribbean or from Europe or Asia or different parts of the world. You must have a passport in order to travel to Kenya. You must also have a Kenyan ETA, which is a electronic travel authorization. Now there are two different forms for that. There's a 90-day single entry ETA, which allows you to visit one time for up to 90 days. Then you must reapply for an extension, or every time you visit the country, you must apply for that ETA each time. The second option is to apply for what's called a 5-year ETA, which allows you to visit the country as many times as you would like during that 5-year period without having to reapply for another ETA. So the next thing you must do is arrange for your housing. Now there are Airbnbs all over the country of Kenya, very high quality Airbnbs. You can search Airbnb for the city that you're visiting, and you can browse through the profiles and see which one seems to meet your needs. You can contact us, find out about the particular areas. Now, we're not familiar with every Airbnb that's listed on there, but there are some that we have used that we could recommend for you also. For those of you who are coming for longer term stays, you can look into renting an apartment or renting a house, maybe on a monthly basis. You can check with each property manager on a case-by-case basis. We can somewhat help you to navigate the areas that you should look at or that may fit your needs. And as I've been sharing with those of you listening, that there are many options in Kenya as far as the lifestyle that you want to live. If you want the big city life, then Nairobi is for you. There are also suburbs of Nairobi outside of the city center. There's also smaller towns like Nakuru, which has a more affordable cost of living. And then there's the village life. We're developing our missions base in a village called Salai, which is about an hour north of Nakuru. So there are houses, there are apartments, there's studios, there's what's called bed sitters. So there's so many different options for you depending on the life that you want to live. Third, transportation. Uber is everywhere across Kenya. They also have another mode of transportation called boda boda, which is the motorcycles riders that can take you around. There are also several companies that rent cars with or without drivers. We've used several of those, and we can recommend one to you as well if you want to go on long distance trips out of the town of Nairobi. You may want to go to Mombasa, Denali Beach. You may want to go to safaris. We can recommend some of those companies that we have used as well. And so if you're thinking about relocating here on a permanent basis, you're going to have some source of income. Although the cost of living is far cheaper than it is in the West, you still will have to have a regular source of income. You can't depend or think that you're going to move to Kenya and find a job. Now, yeah, you can start a business. We've started several businesses, but I do not recommend that anyone come here and expect to use a business they start here or anywhere, as far as that go, as the only source of income. I always promote having multiple streams of income. Now, ideally, this opportunity for permanent relocation is for those who are retired, maybe on Social Security or a pension from a company. You are the ideal candidates for relocation to Kenya on a temporary or permanent basis. Now, some may not want to relocate permanently. You may have so many ties back in the country you're from, America, may have family, children, grandchildren, and that's perfectly fine. Kenya doesn't hold you hostage. You can leave whenever you choose to go visit, or you can stay as long as you like if you get permanent residency permit, which is called an ordinary resident permit, which you can apply for that, which allows you to stay in the country for up to 3 years, and then it's renewable after 3 years. You can visit our Affordable African Horizons website to see our blog page that talks about that in greater detail. There's also links to several lawyers that you can coordinate with in order to get that process started or ask questions about the immigration process. Now, let's talk about number 5, starting a business. Now, starting a business is relatively simple and relatively inexpensive by American standards. The process can be done completely online through the Kenyan government website. And so depending on the type of business you're trying to start, if you would need to have a Kenyan as a director or a shareholder in that business if you are a foreigner. So, but it's still simple to do that. We have local Kenyans that we work with. My wife is Kenyan. My children are Kenyan. My employees are all Kenyans in the businesses that we've started as a part of our mission project to empower Kenyans who are unemployed or underemployed, and also to help reach the most vulnerable in the Kenyan society. So we've assigned several community service workers in various cities around Kenya in order to help identify those who are most vulnerable and to help meet their most urgent needs, food, clothing, and shelter being the primary sources. And then we try to create opportunities for Kenyans who don't have a job to start a business, a sustainable business. We do small investment into those businesses. We do business advice. We go over business plan with them. We check the viability of their business, and we offer ongoing support to ensure that their business is sustainable and successful. So these are a lot of the things that we've been covering, and you'll find most of this on our website. Again, that's affordableafricanhorizons.com. You can arrange for a consultation where we can set up a time for a phone call or a video call for an hour session to answer any questions for you. We list a questionnaire on our website that gives us an idea of what you're looking for, what your particular circumstances are, whether you're married, single, retired, your age, the type of city you want to live in, small, medium, or village, and your income. We want to get a picture or a snapshot of who you are and what you're looking to accomplish, what your goals are, so that we can give you good research when we have our consultation with you. So we're thankful for all of you, and we are excited about all of those who have contacted us about coming to the nation. We're excited about those who are visiting with us this week as we've been traveling around different parts of Kenya, helping them to explore the opportunities that may be available to them, and there may be an opportunity available for you. Open your mind, unlock your mind, explore opportunities outside the U.S. Look, I didn't move to Kenya or relocate to Kenya because my life was terrible in America. Yes, America has its own sets of problems, just like Kenya and every other nation in the world. I came following my mission assignment by God. And so when you have a purpose in mind for doing anything, you find a way to prosper in that. Particularly for those who are people of faith, you can trust that God will always provide wherever he guides. So we've been here. We went through some of the trial periods and error periods that you have to encounter anytime you do anything new in life. But we've learned a lot of things and we've gained a lot of wisdom that we can share with those of you who are considering visiting or relocating to Kenya on a semi-permanent or a permanent basis, or want to visit the country regularly. Contact us. We love to connect with you, share our wisdom and advice with you. So schedule a consultation today so that we can personalize a plan specific to your needs. I can tell you, saints, beyond the shadow of a doubt, these types of trips and opportunities to see, to explore life outside of the U.S. is a game changer. It'll change your total perspective on life, even give you a new perspective or paradigm shift about yourself. You'll find out who you are when you detach yourself from all that's familiar to you. And you have to adapt and adopt to other situations, other cultures, other languages, other foods. And as I shared, my top 3 reasons for considering visiting or relocating to Kenya is first, the weather, second, the affordability, and third, the people. Everyone's kind and greeting each other, at least the people that I have encountered. They're always Habari Yako, how are you doing? And saying Missouri Sana, I'm fine, thank you. Or Poisana, I'm good. And when they leave each other, they always greet. One of the things that I have to catch myself is that we in America, I can't speak for every American, of course, but generally we just jump into a conversation, sometimes without even greeting a person. But one of the things I'm learning from my Kenyan colleagues is that they always greet each other before they get to the meat of what they're trying to say or what they want. So good morning is a customary thing. Habari Yako, how are you? So I think that's something that we can all learn a little bit about there in America. Behind me in the backdrop, you see some of the signage that we have in our Business Development Center. You see persistence, perseverance, talk about hustle, we talk about success, we talk about resilience. These are all things that are not only applicable to business, but it's also applicable to life. I want to see you succeed, children of God. So again, thanks to all of you who have been reaching out to us. We've been communicating with several people who are considering visiting or relocating to the country, as well as hosting a group that's here with us even now, and they're excited about what they're discovering about Kenya and the possibility of life, whether permanently or semi-permanently, outside of the United States of America. Now, we still have our property and house and family and things back home in America, but we're establishing a second home here in Kenya. And with the possibilities and expectation of developing more bases of operation across East Africa and perhaps other parts of the world. So contact us, find out how you can get connected, how we can communicate with you and explore your opportunities as well. Okay, so I hope I didn't take too much of your time. Hopefully I gave you some relevant information that you can use. We look forward to helping each of you to explore your African horizons. Kwaheri. Bye for now.